Jill Lindström. By the way, she is also the chief architect of Sting Day. She is the head of the whole thing.
Thank you, Per. Yes, Per, you take a seat in the audience, and Soros, you're already in place. And now we'll quickly move on to what I think will be, I hope will be the highlight of the day. Conveyor belt startup pitches. So as you all probably know by now, there's a conveyor belt running here. And how this is going to work is that 12 entrepreneurs, one at a time, will get on in one end. And as they go along the stage, they'll give their pitch. And that will take about 1 minute. When they reach the end, it's obviously over. But before we get started, I'd like to welcome up the jury on stage. Great, you found your places. Yes. Soros, thank you for sticking around. Nanna Andersen, you're an investment manager at H&M Collab, and you invest in companies that has a strategic match to your overall business. And you've invested in Sellpy, the Sting company.
Fantastic company.
Yes, we love them.
Yes, we do.
And that's just to name one, of course.
Yes.
I also know that you practice martial arts twice a week.
Twice a week, yeah.
Yes.
Is that Monday and Wednesday morning.
Is that perhaps something that comes in handy at work?
I would put it this way. Yes, in time, if you see it, like I keep my head very clear, and I have a lot of energy.
Excellent.
So yes.
Yes, very good. Milda Jesaiti from Early Bird in Berlin. You focus on IoT, logistics and supply chain, and big data and analytics.
Personally, and then we're broad otherwise.
Yes. And I understand that you have a special fondness for moving boxes.
I love moving boxes.
Yes. Over the past 6 years, you've lived in 5 different countries. Tell us.
Yes, exactly. So that's what happened. But now we invested actually in a company called Movinga. So they can move the boxes very fast, very efficiently. So great investment. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we have Sofia Bent from Atomico. You source and evaluate new investment opportunities. And you also advise startups on marketing and communication strategy. What's your best advice there for everyone here?
I think it all starts with having a think about what you want to stand for. So coming back to Soros's pitch, I think it's really crucial to know why you're doing what you're doing, and then think about what you want to fill your brand with, because your brand is something that needs to be filled up with the values that you carry in your heart, and then you can create communication and activities and content around it, and then stick to it. So integrity is important in order to have credibility and trustworthiness.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Luke Bull-Nielsen, flown in from Index Ventures in London.
Yeah, it's not its own country, but it's from London.
And you've grown up in Denmark,
Yep.
South Africa, and the UK.
Yes, yes.
And you're an outdoorsy guy. You like triathlons.
I try my best. I can't claim to be so good, but yeah.
Do you have a race planned for the summer?
Yes, I've got a couple. So going to Lek to do some sort of alpine running. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh my gosh. Good luck with that. So some instructions for you. You all have a button in front of you. And as you listen to the pitches, if you hear something you really like, you push that button and it will light up in the front, sort of like the X Factor game show. If you don't like the pitch that much, you just leave the button alone. Nothing more than that. So you're good?
Yep.
All
Excellent. So now we're ready to welcome up the first founder to the conveyor belt. Please welcome up Anna Blot Carling from Hubster. You can honestly start. Whenever you're ready.
Whenever ready, okay. Every year, management teams invest vast amounts of money in formulating strategies, plans, and visions to accomplish long or short-term goals. But on average, only 5% of the co-workers understand and can make use of the strategy. On that note, no wonder 9 out of 10 companies fail in turning their plans into concrete action. And what good is a strategy if you don't use it? Hubster has found a way to increase the strategy usage from average 5% to over 60% in just 8 months. We have created a scalable digital platform that in a unique way motivates the co-workers to use the strategy. We call that activation. Our vision is to turn activation into a natural part of the strategy process, and we are going to make that happen. I hope that you want to be a part of our exciting journey. Thank you.
Wow.
Great job, Anna. Next up, Tor Rauden Kjellstigen from Signal.
Hello, everyone. Hey, I'm Tor from Signal. We help companies to understand when they're mentioned in podcasts, TV, radio, and YouTube. That's spoken media monitoring. Every day we analyze over hundreds of hours of content, and without our service, they wouldn't understand when they are mentioned. We have Microsoft and 50 more high-profile customers on board, and even traditional media monitoring companies signed up to become our resellers. Signal is profitable since Q1 this year, and all of this was achieved in less than 6 months. We're really proud for all of the attention that we got from investors and media, and we aim to continue to keep our market-leading and unique position to become the world leaders in understanding spoken media. Also, I ran a marathon just recently, so I will probably just keep on continuing here for all night. Okay, thank you very much.
It's hard to see.
I think it was Hjalmar who said earlier there are no rules, right? So good job there, Tor. Next up, Mikael Roson from Signality.
Hello. As you all know, sports is all about data. And at Signality, we are building a platform to analyze live sport videos. We can extract precise and accurate real-time data. For example, we can locate and follow the players. We can recognize their actions and find their identity. So we can do all of this without any special cameras or any wearables. So this can be used not only to enhance live broadcast, but also for betting websites, social networks, and doesn't matter. Anyway, with all this data and our platform, we can change the future of sports. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, making sports more interesting. Our fourth pitcher is Alok. From that side. Alok Ahlström from AppJobs. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I used to be the head of Uber in Sweden. And so I led the expansion to Gothenburg, Malmö, and Lund. And the biggest challenge that I had at Uber was to recruit new drivers. There were candidates, but there is no employment agency for this type of app-based jobs. Uber, Foodora, Airbnb, and similar apps are growing extremely fast and need to recruit new labor by the day. But only the last years, 7 years ago, this phenomenon didn't exist, and today only in London, 97 apps recruit over 6,000 new workers per week. So the traditional recruiting industry is not set up to do this well. And therefore, we have started appjobs.com as the recruiting industry or the recruiting agency for this type of app-based jobs.
Great, thank you. Moving on here, next up, Louise Kierkegaard from Kacharge.
The electric car is finally here, but the question is, where should we all charge? CashCharge, we convert existing parking lots into profitable charging points. We are an IoT company that develop, sell, and operate hardware and software for the daily need of electric charging. Our business model is based on recurring revenue per charging point. And our customers, they own parking lots, and we help them to improve their parking business. During the last 9 months, we have sold around 300 charging points, and we have many more customers in the pipeline. Now, we need funding in order to capitalize on the current market demand. More time. Thank you very much.
Great job, Louise, with some time over. Next up, Marcus Jan Back. There we go. From Incerello. Welcome up.
Hi, my name is Marcus, and I used to be an athlete, but I had to quit because of injuries. The fortunate thing for me was that my mother worked in the insurance industry and helped me through all the complex insurance claims processes. My last injury, a broken foot, generated a claim worth of 5,000 euros, which was actually used to create Incerello. Because of the complex processes, 75% of the injuries never gets claimed and processed for in Sweden. This corresponds to a figure of 1 billion euros just in Sweden every year. And currently, this money just expired. So we have basically converted the helping hand of my mother into a simple and digital solution where you can minimize your time spent and maximize your payout. We are currently focusing on accidental insurance claims, but we're now looking for funding to develop our business further and help all those people who never had a mother like mine. Thank you.
Now we're going to take a little break. First, I want to turn to the jury. These were our first 6 pitches, and I think they all handled it really well, don't you think? Yes. Can't be easy making a 1 minute pitch make sense, and at the same time keeping your balance here. So good job. First, I want to turn to you, Milda. What did you think? Did you hear anything you liked?
Yeah, so for the first one, I'm sorry, it was really hard to focus because I was just like only looking how the belt works and, you know, how's the balance. So, but then I had the benefit of already knowing Signality a little bit, what they're doing. So that's why I really, really like that. And then I really like the app jobs as well because it's just so clear that the market need is there now. So I think that was really good.
Excellent. Luke?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think they did a good job, and some of them even had time to spare, so could have gone into more details. But I have to agree on Signality, actually. I think that was the one that I put my light up for. A lot of interesting things happening in computer vision, and in particular, if you can use sort of standardized, commoditized hardware and still take a lot of insights out of that, then I think that leaves you in a fantastic position compared to a lot of other people using expensive LiDAR, radars, etc. Yeah.
Sophia?
Yeah, one of my favorites were actually Signality. No, sorry, Signal with Tor.
Lots of signals.
Too many signals.
Lots of signals. And speaking of lots of signals, I think it's important to monitor them. And me having marketing and brand close to my heart, obviously I can relate to it and see how important it is. And there's so much happening. So I think it's crucial to be on top of what's been said about your brand and how people perceive you, etc. So yeah, that's the one I vote for.
Excellent. You give such brief answers that I have time for Nanna as well.
Ah, perfect. I really like the app jobs because I really believe as well that it's a market out there for it. So perfect. And then of course the CashCharge. Did you pronounce it correctly? Yeah. I mean the sustainability is super crucial as you talked about. So I really like that one as well, making it more easy to charge your cars.
Great.
I like that one.
And Soros, lastly.
I'm out of a job, so I'm gonna try maybe an Uber or I don't know, whichever is the best you can recommend. The bike maybe is better now, although it's snowing a lot. No comment. So I like that, and then I mean I think I like the fact that you were profitable, the signal guy. So That's great. And then I was also wondering, if you would monitor Trump, would your servers break?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And your servers didn't break? No. That's great. All right.
Good, thank you all. Then we'll continue with the last 6. And now, Sebastian, now you're welcome up again. From Kitab Sauti. Whenever you're ready.
At Kitab Sauti, we produce and distribute audiobooks and podcasts in Arabic for a global market with 400 million consumers. Now, audiobooks in Arabic doesn't exist, and therefore we need to be a copyright owner, producer, and distributor, with all the pros and cons that comes with it. We started a year ago and flew down to Cairo for the first time. Since then, we managed to become the world's largest Arabic audiobook company, with a unique position to build and lead the development of the market. Now, the audiobook model is proven to be successful. We localize it and take it to 2.0. So we don't invent the wheel again, but we put it on a faster car in another part of the world. We have a great team, production up and running, and the app is launched successfully as beta. Thank you.
Terrific, thank you, Sebastian. Next up, we have Caroline Rödén from Blue Call.
$350 million people suffer from depression worldwide. What is proved is that many of these people can be helped by just talking. By talking to the right listener right when you need it. My name is Caroline, and I'm the CEO of Blue Call. Blue Call is a digital marketplace for instant therapy counseling. Call a trained listener or a therapist. Through the app, you have anonymous, affordable, and instant support on speed dial 24/7. We launched the app in September, and we see that more than 95% of our users are feeling better after a call. 66% are coming back within a week for another call. We closed our first seed round with 5 angels in March. Join us when we turn Blue Call into a global success. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Our next pitcher is Egil Bergenlind from DP Organizer.
That's right. I'm from DP Organizer, and we help companies honor human rights, specifically the right to privacy. Human rights was born a long time ago, but the most important changes happened only in the last 70 years. In 1950, the right to privacy was declared a human right. DP Organizer launched in 2016, and we already have paying customers in several countries, including the United States. We exist because of the General Data Protection Regulation, a new framework that's changing everything and starts applying in 2018. Our data protection management software helps companies comply with the GDPR. And in 3 years' time, we're going to be a unicorn, and DP Organizer is going to be a global standard. What GDPR does is it gives all of you the tools necessary to really exercise your rights to privacy, and the companies that doesn't comply will risk fines of up to 4% of global turnover or 20 million euros.
Thank you, Egil. Next up is Smart Grid Surveillance and Magnus Karlsson.
I think you all know the frustration of a power outage. You cannot charge your phone, you cannot surf the net, you can't even cook your own food. On the professional side, the industry, finance, and commerce will all grind to a halt. We all live in total darkness here. But do you know that more than 50%, more than half of the time for each outage, is just detecting and locating the fault? We have the solution. Smart Grid Surveillance detects and locates all types of faults in the power grid immediately. The time for detection and positioning of the fault goes from 50% to 0 time, saving loads of money, not only for the power companies, but also for the whole society. Would you like to join us to make the darkness brighter, please come and talk to us during the break.
Great. Thank you, Magnus. Second to last.
Yay.
Yay! Jakob Rudbeck from Yepster.
Thank you. 85% of youths want an extra job and have heaps of free time. And just across the street, there's a stressed out family who would love some help. Until now, they've really struggled to meet each other. That's why we built Yepster, an app where households can find ambitious youths in their neighborhood for simple tasks like babysitting and gardening. Our Yeps, young entrepreneurs, are 15 to 21 years old and extremely driven. This group carry, apart from the positive societal benefits, other benefits like they recruit themselves through schools and social media. They also recruit their customers. Our Yeps download, print, and distribute our flyers to start their own neighborhoods. We've grown an average of 54% every month for 13 months, and now we're raising 800,000 euros to capture Sweden, bring us to break even, and establish a beachhead in the US. Yay!
Great job. And last up is Jesper Hassel from Mevia. You just start whenever you're ready.
Yep. 10% of all hospitalizations are caused by medication error. Now this means taking too many, too few, or taking the right pills but at the wrong time. This causes enormous suffering for the patient, but also costs Swedish society more than 2.5 billion euros each year. At Mevia, we want to help patients take the right medication at the right time. One way in which we do this is by attaching our technology to Apoteket's dose pouch bags. Now, what we're able to do then is monitor and support the patient in real time, so that if you forget to take your medication, we can send you an SMS, email, or an automated phone call to help you take your meds at the right time. Our product is patented and CE marked and has been utilized by pharmaceutical companies in home care in Europe and North America. We've received feedback that it's impossible to forget to take your medication, and we've also managed to minimize medication errors by 45%. If you want to join us, come talk to me after this. Thank you.
Woo. Great job, everyone. It's amazing how much information you can fit into 1 minute. So good job. Back to the jury. Let's start with you, Soros, this time. Did you hear anything
I was trying
you liked?
to give you a sign that I don't know yet what I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think DP Organizer was a good idea, but a terrible name. So I just wanted to put out, be a bit of the...
Need some help from Sophia.
Exactly.
I'm here.
Reconsider your name. And then I like the Yepster idea as well. It sounds like you've thought a lot about it, like how to go to market and how to really kind of activate your users to do a lot of that work for you to grow. Definitely a lot smarter than buying, Facebook and Google ads only. So I really like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Nana?
Yes, I actually loved Yepster because everything that takes out life admin, I really love. So I think that was a really good idea. Yeah, I loved it. So that was my favorite.
Cool.
V6, yes.
Milda?
Okay, I'll continue on Yepster because that was the only one I also pressed the yes button for. So apart from all the good things, I was thinking that actually one of the kind of challenges they might have is what most of these verticalized marketplaces have is kind of, the mom is going to go directly to the kid for, being a nanny after the first kind of successful, visit or meeting. But then I'm thinking if you can really build up the community and, people understand that you're, contributing by actually paying through Yepster and not just, cutting the chain, then I think it could be actually a both maybe a good business and then also, kind of giving good social impact. So I liked it.
Great. And Sophia?
Yeah, it's hard. So many good ones. Favorites were Blue Call. I think there's so much that can be done with health and digital tools. And I think we're just seeing the start of it. So I'm really curious about what can happen there. And great to see that someone is, really driven to do something strong, fast, because there's so much need for it. So that's a favorite. Another one, DP Organizer, however the name. I work on a bank, Avanza Bank, so we're working a lot with compliance, and I know how that can drain a business. So any help on clearance regarding compliance stuff like that, I think is interesting. Another favorite is Jepster. I tried the service myself, and I really like it. And I also like that it gives youngsters a chance to already at a young age kind of try their skills and almost get like an online resume because they're getting rated, and you know it's a good way for them to come into the workforce, I think. So yeah, I need to figure out who of those three that will be my final favorite.
Yes, you have a minute to think about it while Luke gives us his feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, first of all, Smart Grid reminded me of the slightly depressing thought of how useless I'd be as a human being without electricity, not even being able to feed myself, essentially. But I think out of the six, my favorite was Mavia. So, looking at healthcare and medication adherence, which is actually a massive problem and something that I've been looking a little bit into. Some scary sort of statistics that out of 100 prescriptions that people get at the pharmacy, only about 50% of them are actually picked up, and then only 25% of them are actually taking the pills in the correct manner. So I think there's a huge amount of potential for, innovative ideas in and around behavioral change, and also perhaps some sort of, carrot and the stick in terms of the doctor being able to know if you have actually taken it or not. So yeah, an interesting idea.
Okay, great. Thank you all for your feedback. Now it's time to vote. You all have a blank piece of paper in front of you and a very big magic marker. So please write down the name of the startup you liked the most out of all of them. And keep it to yourself until I ask you to show it. After this session, there will be a mingle outside in the exhibition, and you'll be able to talk more to all the pitching entrepreneurs out there if you want to know more. Is the jury ready to cast its votes?
I'm writing very slowly.
I'm drawing.
You're drawing.
Illustrating your vote. Where should we start? We don't have to... we'll start with Milda in the middle.
Okay.
Who did you vote for?
I vote for Signality.
Woohoo!
Yep.
And then we'll jump back to Luke. You ready?
Yeah, well,
yes?
Snap, Signality as well. There we go.
And Soros.
App Jobs. Yes.
And back to Sophia.
Blue Call.
Blue Call. And finally, let's see if we have one winner or two winners. Jepster.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all. So I think that means we have a winner. Welcome up, Signality. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot.
How was that? Did you enjoy pitching?
That was okay.
It was okay.
I didn't phone.
You did a really good job.
Thank you.
So we also have some hats for the jury and for the winner. Excellent. So you can all wear the hats we've seen all day.
Here you
go.
Thank you, Henna.
And we co-lead the investment?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that,
Yeah, right, we'll show that.
I would again like to thank you for pitching. You can just leave that there. And thank you again to the jury for all your wise words and insights.
Thank you to the team. Thank you for having us.